Hey there, Year 8. Hoping that you've watched my example 8 video for exercise 9E. I'm now going to go straight into this problem to show you again how to find the x and the y intercept. Okay, and then I'll sketch the graph. So if you haven't watched that example, this example over here, make sure to watch this video. Okay, example 8. Here we go. Example 9. This is what we're going to do. So our equation is y equals 2x minus 8. That's our equation. Y equals 2x minus 8. Now, if we were to find our x-intercept, okay, so x-intercept, remember, x-intercept can be found by, we don't know what x is, okay, we don't know where on the x-axis where the value is, but we know the y value is always 0, okay, so if you don't understand that, watch my example 8 again. And so here we go. I know that the x-coordinate will go with the x-coordinate, the y-coordinate goes with the y-coordinate. So I'm going to use the equation to solve, okay, so here we go. Y is now equal to 0. 2 times x, well, x is still x, and then minus 8. See, from here, you are now using chapter 7 to solve the equation. So I just subbed 0 to where the y was, and I subbed x where the x is, yeah? Now, this is minus 8. Remember Sam Dobb? I told you to get rid of anything that's to do with addition, subtraction. This is multiplication over here, so you deal with that last. So here we go. We're going to add 8 because that's the opposite of minus 8. So add 8 on both sides, and you can see now negative 8 plus 8 we know is 0. So they cancel out to be 0. 0 plus 8 on the left-hand side is 8. And then you still have the 2x over here, but remember this becomes 0, so there's really no point writing it. So there we go, that's 2x. So we removed the minus 8 on the right-hand side by doing the opposite. And over here, remember that 2x means 2 times x. So the opposite of timesing this 2 to the x, because we just want x, is then divide. The opposite of times is divide. And what am I dividing? I'm dividing 2. I'm dividing both sides by 2 so that it cancels out. 2 divided by 2 is 1. And 1 times x is x on the right-hand side, whilst 8 divided by 2 is 4. So what have I done just now? I've just figured out that when x is 4, so that's what the x means, when x is 4, I got this result because y, the y coordinate, was 0. So that's my first point. That's a point. On your Cartesian plane, when you sketch it out for 0, you now have a point. On the x-axis, you now have for 0. That's what I'm trying to train you to do. Okay, so you found one point. And remember, to sketch a straight line, to sketch this equation, you only need 2 points. You don't need 5 points like you did in exercise 9b. This one uses pure algebra and you get straight to the point in the sketch. Okay? Then what's the next one? We now need the y-intercept. Okay, so again, y-intercept. It's actually the easiest one to do first. Y-intercept, we don't know what the y value is. Okay, somewhere on the y-axis, but we do know that the x-coordinate is 0. So what's the equation again? The equation was y is equal to 2x minus 8. So 2x minus 8. And same thing again. You are substituting the x-coordinate with the x-coordinate and the y-coordinate with the y-coordinate, right? So that now gives me y is equal to 2 times 0, because x is 0, minus 8. And look at that. How easy is this? 2 times 0 is 0, minus 8, y is equal to negative 8. See how much quick and easy it is? Because it's always like that. Y-intercept is always going to be the easiest one to do. When you train the algebra, you're actually trying to figure out the x-intercept. And that's one of the most difficult things that will start to occur from year 9 onwards. Students who struggle with algebra will start to find this topic really daunting to do. Okay, so really important to practice your algebra in chapter 7 and chapter 5 to really get your head around it. Okay, but anyways, back to the point. Y equals negative 8. So what does that mean? We figured out that when x was 0, the y value that we were trying to figure out before is negative 8. And that's my second point. So now that I got 2 key points, I've got 4, 0, and 0, -8. You only need 2 points to sketch a straight line. So here we go. I'm going to now draw my axes out. Here we go. That's my axes. All right, use a ruler. And then from here, I've got y-axis, x-axis. It's a good habit to label the x and y-axis. And what is my goal? My goal is to sketch this equation. This equation y equals 2x minus 8. Well, I got 2 points. 4, 0. So say maybe 4, 0 is about here. Really doesn't matter. You can just pick a point. You don't have to rule out, measure out the axes. You can just put a point and then just call it 4, 0. That's your x-axis intercept. Yeah, so this is for the x-axis, whilst the y-axis has to sit on the y-axis. 0, -8. So where would 0, -8 be? It'll be probably double this distance that you see. So maybe I'll put it down here, and that's 0, -8. So this distance is longer than this distance. Okay, so there you go. That's roughly what is 0, -8. So I've got 2 points. Use a ruler, and together you now have got the graph of 2x minus 8. So this should be the equation y equals to 2x minus 8. That's what it should look like. And it should cross at 4, 0, and 0, -8. So let's have a look if it's true. Go to your browser, okay, and let's have a look. This is Desmos, okay, so remember you can type Desmos onto Google and you click on the one that says graphing calculator. So here we go. I'm going to write y equals 2x minus 8. Have a look at this graph here. Can you see we already figured out that's the coordinate and that's 4, 0, and then over here it's 0, -8. Can you see that? That's exactly what you guys just got without a table, without exercise 9b where you had to use a table. I'm going to show you after I paste this again, just to remind you the purpose of this whole exercise. It is to show you how you can get exactly what the Desmos calculator got simply by understanding that you just needed 2 coordinates. You see that? And we found 2 really key coordinates here. That was 0, -8, and this was 4, 0. See that? And you did that algebraically. That's pretty much our graph. The only thing we're missing is obviously the clear measurements and label, but you don't need that. You just need 2 key points, and that's the skill that you want to do. So that's how I want you to sketch it. Label the x and y axes. I want you to label the points and label it as a coordinate the way I have. Don't just write the 4, write it as a coordinate. And then using a ruler, sketch, connect the 2 dots, and technically, usually it's good habits to write the equation. Okay, but that would be a perfect graph in my opinion right there. Okay, and if you can do that, you are really, truly working with linear equations or linear relationships. That's what this whole exercise is about. And it gets really challenging for students in year 9 when algebra is difficult and you know they don't understand what they're actually really doing, and that's when it gets tricky. Okay, so I hope this video was helpful. Example 8, watch that first if you haven't. Then you watch example 9 if you've got that. You should be able to do now exercise 9E, question 1, 2, and 3. You should be able to use these equations, find the x and y intercept, and then you should be able to sketch them like I have, and that you'll be really pretty strong. I'd be very happy if you're able to do that. Okay, here we go.